will be also joining us here in this platform. I just want to say shalom to all of you guys. Take a moment really quick and share, if you don't mind. We're going to get ready to talk about our 20K and 20-day campaign. This is now becoming our annual thing as Ministry for Millennials. So I wanted to take a moment to come on social media and explain what our focuses are for 2024 for all of our partners, those that really support what we're doing in the field, in the vineyard, in our church. This is an opportunity to really partner with us and see what we do. We're going to drop the link, or I'm going to drop the link on Clubhouse. Right now, I'm having an issue getting into the Clubhouse. It's like my actual app is glitching. So give me a minute. But while you guys wait, if you guys don't mind, please take a moment and share whatever you're watching from. Just take a moment and share really quick and tag your tribe, tag our tribe in it so we can explain our 20K in 20 days. We're going to start in just one moment. All right, I think we are good. I don't know what's going on Clubhouse, but God bless you all. Anyway, I can't really see you guys, so y'all are just going to have to bear with me. God bless everybody that is coming in, those that are here on social media as well. I want to say shalom to you all. God bless everybody that's here. Well, it is that time of year, folks. It is time for us as a tribe, as a church, as a nonprofit to begin to raise money for the initiatives and things that we have concerning this new year 2024. I'm going to take a moment and just recognize all of you guys that are here with me right now. And I just want to say thank you because I know a lot of you guys are supporting a lot of the various things that we are doing around the country, around the globe, and all that stuff. And so consider this more of a status check as well as a check in because we've been doing so much and so quickly that unfortunately we haven't had a lot of time to catch up with a lot of you guys that are watching us. So you're catching us on replays and you're catching us on various things that we're doing. And I know it could and seems like we're like all over the place, but there's a lot of vision to what we're doing. And so I'm taking a moment today to explain that here on our social media as we began yesterday 20K in 20 days. It is now become an annual thing. We did it last year, and it was really to raise funds for the building that we had just acquired. But in 2024, we ended 23 with 2 buildings and opportunities to continue to build on what it is that we've been doing as a church and as a tribe. And so for those that may not know our personal ministry, this is an opportunity for you to hear what we do beyond social media. And so for those who don't know who I am, my name is James Mozon. I am the senior leader of Ministry for Millennials Incorporated. That is our church, that is our ministry, but I call them my tribe. And we are getting ready to go into our 5th year. We're approaching our 5th year of ministry. Our Bible study group started as just that, a Bible study group at a table in my wife and I's dining room with 4 individuals. And since then, we have grown into this full-fledged church, nonprofit organization and movement, really bridging the gap from that have gone before us to those that are coming behind us and creating a legacy that we can continue to profess the gospel and to preach the gospel to the 4 corners of the earth. And there's a lot of things that we do as a ministry and as a church that I'm excited about, I'm proud of. And over the course of these 5 years, we've seen so many different individuals join, be built, get clarity in their identity and who they are, and go on to do great things, whether it's in the kingdom, in the marketplace, or both. And so our church has been really in a strong developing season for the last year. We've been rapidly growing and really building at home locally, still making our mark abroad, whether it be nationally or internationally. And last year we raised 15,000 in 15 days. Actually, we raised 15,000 in 12 days because we had came into an opportunity to acquire our church building. But little to our surprise, we did not know that was not a church building, but it would become one of many buildings and a multifaceted idea that would end up being a stimulus for our kingdom and for our generation. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But could y'all do me a favor and just share, if y'all don't mind, for those that are commenting, I'm going to try. Sharia's like going to watch, and I'm going to watch the comments. For some reason, I can't get into the Clubhouse app. Like I'm outside the app, but I'm talking. I don't know how to explain it. So I can see a list of names on the outside, like in the hallway, but I'm not actually in the room, if that makes sense, which is probably profound if I allow it to be. But I'm just letting you guys know, if you're coming in and I don't acknowledge you, don't think I'm just ignoring you or anything like that. I'm not in the room to see. So y'all just bear with me on that. But if you're on social media, the other social media platforms, Facebook and all that stuff, send a comment. And some of those comments will show up and we'll put them up on the screen as we are sharing our focus and our initiatives for this year's campaign. Let me start by just sharing some information from last year. For those that sewn into Ministry for Millennials in 2023, when we did the 15K in 15 days, I want to show you just what some of the work we've done this last year. And we're excited about it. And I know that this year we're going to do all the more. But let me just show you 2023's results. 2023's results. So in 2023, we raised 15,000 in 15 days, but it eventually translated to $30,844.70 that we gave back out. $13,309 we were able to sow into other ministries around the country to help them on their initiatives. I'm a firm believer, y'all, that when we don't have the capability of doing something in a community, why don't you instead, help that is in the community that can do it. So there were various ministries around the country that we partnered with and their initiatives and their agendas in their own communities, whether it was outreach, whether it was helping those that were in need, whether it was building a specific part of their own ministry to help better equip their congregants, whether it was pastors that were focusing on doing something from a legal perspective, raising legislation, building for things in their community, social economical reasons, whatever the case was, we partnered with many ministries around the country last year. And so almost all that we raised went right back out to those ministries. But then we also spent $10,976.18 on missions and outreach. And missions and outreach dealt with anything from outreach initiatives in a local community and major cities around the country to things that we've done around the world in various countries with great partners like Dr. Patricia Bailey. We've been able to assist in those economically challenged regions and help combat things that maybe many are not aware of. And so we're able to sow $10,000 into various outreach and mission initiatives. And then 6,560 went to local aid. That was dealing with our church, people in our ministry, people that are a part of our tribe, and different things and various things that they went through. I'm proud to announce that there were several individuals that actually migrated from various parts of the country back here or I shouldn't say back, but to Delaware. And by the grace of God, we were able to assist them in their transition. And overall, for the most part, everybody is now settled. They have a place their head. They are most of them are already positioned in their vocation or their career, and many more are getting ready to walk into their opportunities as well. So it's been a very interesting year, to say the least, concerning our tribe. We were thriving in the Zoom space for a very long time. That's what our Bible study started with, a dining room and a Zoom space. And then when the pandemic hit in 2020, we were strictly Zoom, as was many of us. And when we came out of the 2020, 21, 22 season, we had a pretty strong online community, and the gathering and the failing not to assemble became the challenge. And then 2023, that was when we kind of put the things together and we began to spend more time and focus on gathering locally and all of that stuff. And now we have a pretty strong and thriving congregation that is growing as we speak. As of September of 23, we acquired our storefront church, which is only 1,000 square feet, but it was big enough to start the process of gathering. And much to our surprise, here we are in September, October, November, December, January. So we're 5 months in and we're already getting ready to prepare for overflow, as we are adding so much on to our tribe that we're looking into multiple services and essentially a bigger space. And so our campaign this year is going to deal with all of the things that we as a church have always dealt with, whether it's missions and outreach, whether it's business acquisition, property management, or whether it's in-house enhancements and church function. These are the things that we deal with constantly. I spend a lot of time with my tribe and building character and helping to get people in position. And then when I have time, I'm on social media and I'm sharing a word corporately and all of that good stuff. But there that has happened in the last year that's pulled me away from social media as much as I would like to be on like Clubhouse and Facebook and all that. There's a lot of things that we've been focusing on to really build the caliber of this church, this tribe, and more importantly, this next generation. And I'm thankful for all of our partners, those that have been a part of these last 5 years that have really sewn into where we're going. And I'm just really thankful that you've stood and endured with us, because a lot of what we are doing could not be possible without each and every single one of you. But we're going to 2024. And in 2024, this 20K in 20 days is going to up the ante. I'm just making sure we're good online. I see you, Jess. God bless you. I don't know why I can't see my personal Facebook on the StreamYard stuff, but I see you online. So love you so much. Thanks for joining. And to all of you guys, take a moment, share and tag and all that good stuff as we talk about the campaign concerning 2024. Now, my personal belief when it comes to the church is not to raise money so that the pastor looks good and that the pastor dresses well and that the pastor drives well and it's comfortably, but really the church storehouse is for the people. And we're getting back to the root of that. When the Bible talks about Acts and how people came together and they sold all that they had, that no one in the church lack. We're no longer there as a modern society. We can do our to ensure that the storehouse is strong enough that if God forbid a pandemic were to come, or if God forbid there was war or war-torn areas, the people that are believers and the people that are in the house of God should not struggle or suffer because of what the earth is going through, because the people of God have come together to ensure that there's success. And so what we do is we're raising an awareness of not just what we do as a church, but we're raising the resources in the storehouse that we can begin to run 2024 without the pause and the stop and the recollect and the raise and then the pause and the stop and the recollect. We walked into 23 with great momentum, raising that 15,000. And even though we didn't get to use the 15,000 to just open up a church building and start, it actually opened our eyes to the caliber of what we could be if we would just simply follow the Father. And that's what we did. So in 2024, we found ourselves acquiring much more than we expected. And by the grace of God, those that sowed, they were able to help us. Now, we'll talk a little bit later on how you can be a part of this campaign. But this year, we've done it a little bit differently. We are actually dealing with teams this year, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But let me just give you a quick overview of our campaign and what it represents. And all of this information that I'm sharing with you, you can find for yourself at www.ministry, the number 4 millennials.church/20K. But this ambitious journey that we have is to raise 20,000 in the next 20 days. So from the 9th of February, which was yesterday, through the 29th, as this is a year, we are going to be focusing on raising money for our church. The campaign is to fortify our church's foundation, enhance the capacity for service, and extend our outreach both locally and globally. And so anyone that is supporting us, you're enabling us to undertake these critical initiatives across 3 focus areas. There's always a need for global action. And so there's many different global things that we look at as a small church we can impact in big ways. We know that the Christian mission, there's a lot of challenges when it comes to spreading the gospel and all of that. And at Millennial, I really feel it is imperative and important that we not just make our mark in our community with a strong church and a strong presence, not just make our mark in the country as a strong church and a strong presence, but let's make our mark in the world as a strong church and a strong presence, not just as ministry for millennials, but as the kingdom of God and the next generation of ambassadors. I don't care what type of church you're a part of. The truth is we should be impacting the world. From a global perspective, there's urgency and action that's required right now. Things like poverty and hunger, where 9% of the world's population deals with extreme poverty. Most of them that are surviving on less than $1.90 a day. And so we provide aid and support communities as a belief system and kingdom, trading Christ's love and compassion through the actions. We also understand that there's lack of access to education. 258 million children and youth are out of school worldwide. And so we play a vital role in education and learning opportunities to underprivileged communities, reflecting our commitment to empowering future generations. Healthcare needs that lack basic health care. So with the partnership of Dr. Patricia Bailey, we can fund things like hospitals and underprivileged communities to ensure that health is provided or healthcare is provided for those that may not have it. And then more importantly, one of the biggest issues in the global issue is persecution. 260 million Christians live in areas of persecution, requiring support, advocacy, aid from our global Christian community to ensure that there is safety and freedom to worship. And so we have to really do our part as a church, as a kingdom, and ministry for millennials. We are focused strictly and simply on that. I'll further it by saying this. that your support is going to help us in 3 ways. There's 3 ways that you're going to help. The seeds that we're collecting is going to help in 3 folds. The first is property acquisition and business development. We're going to begin the process of acquiring more buildings to creatable income streams for individuals in our church, but this is through business ventures. And so we're going to allocate some of our resources toward global initiatives addressing poverty, education, healthcare, and persecution by really building streams of income that the church manages overseas, but essentially can reallocate the resources or the funds from revenue and profit to really aid in the things that I just talked about. The second initiative that your support helps with is church enhancements, upgrading our facilities, enabling us to better serve our local hubs for global missioning and planning and support. It provides a strong base from which we operate our international outreach efforts. We're raising missionaries where we are. Missionaries are not just defined by people that go into the world, but people that go into their own communities, maybe even their household. And we want to make sure that the buildings that we are overseeing and are managing are equipped to do simply that. So renovations in the church that we're in, along with renovations in the building that we will acquire, and the buildings, plural, that we will acquire, will simply touch that. I'll kind of talk about that in a few minutes, a little bit more. And then the third initiative and the third point that your support does help with is outreach and global efforts and initiatives. And so you're directly funding missions and outreach programs that allow us to respond to these global challenges more effectively, offering hope, aid, and the love of Christ to those that are desperately in need. Your impact of your contribution, it's going to reduce poverty. It's going to promote education. It's going to improve health care access. It's going to support persecuted Christians. And your part in this campaign is not just an investment in the church's future. It's a lifeline to those in need around the globe. And so together we can make a great significant impact demonstrating God's love through our actions and commitment to serving humanity. And so for many of you that have ever been a part of our ministry, you know that what we do is more than just a service. It's what should last beyond service and beyond even the tenureship of my life. When we leave, we want to have a legacy that's still here. And so our focus has really been training up, aiding those that are really called by God to answer the call appropriately, being chosen, and then to get into the discipline to really be calibrated and sanctified to do the work of the Father. And so we're starting this year with a very aggressive campaign that we know we can do. We raised 15,000 in 12 days. We can raise 20,000 in 20 days. We did 30,000 in alms, and we declared double this year. So over 60 in those 3 buckets. We spent another 20 excuse me, and different upgrades and enhancements, not just in our tribe, but in businesses around and connected to our tribe as well. And so we want to double and do $100,000 in support and aid as well. So what makes this year a little bit different than the years before? Well, this year we decided to use 3 of our leaders to help us to really drive home this campaign. And those 3 leaders is Prophetess Yolanda Coleman, who is celebrating her birthday today. So happy birthday to Yoyo, as we call her affectionately, as she celebrates her birthday and her year of life away right now. But it is her birthday. So if y'all know Yoyo, don't forget to shout her out for her birthday today. So she is going to be charging and leading the charge for business acquisitions and that part. So she'll be heading off the business acquisition campaign, and she'll be dealing with raising funds for the church to acquire businesses. The point of the church acquiring businesses is to ensure we are leveraging streams of income to advance the work we do around the world. Secondly, we have Pastor Ray Moore, who this Wednesday will be officially installed as the pastor for the Wilmington campus here for Ministry for Millennials. Him and his lovely wife, Prophetess Kayla Moore, have already demonstrated their passion and their burden to shepherd God's people and have shown great compassion concerning this community locally. And so they will be installed officially as the pastors of the church that we have been raising. And so we're excited to celebrate their installation this Wednesday. So you'll be able to watch that also online as well. But Pastor Ray Moore will be overseeing the church funding initiatives. And so he'll be heading off the funding campaign dealing with the church. And this is dealing with raising funds for the church to renovate, enhancing the experience of in-house worship and interactions with the community. This campaign funds the upgrading of the sound systems and various renovation projects within our buildings. And then the third key player is Mom Reen. Mom Reen, or Laureen Ford, is a mother in our church, but she'll be overseeing the outreach and initiatives. Captain Reen, she'll be heading off the funding, dealing with raising funds for outreach and initiatives. This will primarily focus on our ability to serve nationally and internationally as we continue to support various projects around the world. Missions and ministry assignments are supported here. So these are the three players that are going to really be the face of this campaign. So for anyone that is going to be led to sow, whether you go to our giving website, whether you download our app and give through the app, you will notice in the giving drop down menu that there are 3 buckets for 20K in 20 days. And one is Team Reen, one is Team Yoyo, and one is Team Moore. Those 3 represent the 3 different buckets that we're focusing on as a totality of our campaign. But let's take a second really quick and really go into the specifics for each of the visuals I just mentioned and the focusing of their campaign to give you a better understanding of their campaign. First of all, with Captain Yolanda, we're dealing with business acquisition. Business acquisition is dealing with building on our income outside of tithes and offering. I believe that the church has an opportunity to build entrepreneurs, to build businesses that not just fund the operations of the church, but fund the totality of the vision of the church, for the missions, for the things that we want to do around the nation, and then things we want to do even in our community. I do believe that there's a lot of folk that are going to come in, and they may not come in necessarily with strong resources in their hands right away. Some people have to go through recovery. And over this last year, I've watched some that have so much great potential come in with nothing in their hands because there were things that God had to restore them in. There were things they had to be educated in. So I don't feel that everything should fall directly on the congregants that are coming into your local church when it comes to the church's global initiatives. But when the church begins to raise entrepreneurs and more importantly, begin to oversee businesses, it gives you a second stream or a second ability to drive these things funding wise without pulling or making the congregation strain. I do believe that when God touches the heart of people, they will give based upon what's in their hands and based upon what God says. And we don't take away from that. We have a lot of tithers and those that do give offerings in our church. And we're thankful because those individuals were the reason why we were able to more than double what came in last year in alms going back out. But I do believe that we have an opportunity this year to capitalize on business ventures and opportunities. One of those ventures being childcare. Going into the childcare, industry gives us an opportunity not just to generate revenue that can help fund the church, but it also helps us to also cover the next generation, the babes that don't even know up from down yet. So there are opportunities that have arisen in our church's business that are giving us the opportunity to take more responsibility from a business perspective. And so Team Yo-Yo will be driving this part of the campaign as we begin to educate our partners on the business acquisition and the business focuses that we have. Okay. The second partner, which is Team Moore or Team Ray Moore. Team Ray, he'll be dealing with the church funding campaign. As the overseer of our Wilmington location, there are small that we do need to do inside of our church to enhance our church and to get a better grip on the things that we're doing from a local perspective. In the space that we have now, there's always room for growth and there's always room to build at a higher level. And so we are going to begin doing small renovation to help cater to the needs of those local community members that are coming in. We've been serving, sewing in the folk that are hungry coming in. So creating like the food pantry and a place where people can not just be fed, but be able to be served comfortably of things that I know is on Pastor Ray's heart. Of course, those that are part of our online community, we want to make sure that you're getting the best experience when it comes to our services. So we're going to be upgrading the sound system as well. And that's a pretty pricey ticket all by itself. But that is why we have a captain to kind of oversee the church funding initiatives, from the physical to the spiritual experience within our church walls. We want to make sure that this initiative is dedicated to making the best out of the spaces that God has given us. So your contributions will transform our church into a state-of-the-art facility that meets the needs of our congregation and our visitors, improve sound qualities, which will enrich the worship services, while building renovations will make our church more fun and inviting for our community events, gatherings, fostering a stronger sense of belonging and engaging. Okay. And then finally, we have Mom Reen. Now, Mom Reen is she is the overseer of the outreach and mission. She's an evangelist, and so it's right down her alley and valley. One of the things that she's doing is heading off monthly events for our church. And this year, we don't lose sight of our local responsibility to those that do need a little bit more support than what they are getting. So Mom Reen, she'll be leading the charge in expanding that outreach and initiatives both nationally and internationally. And so her focus in this campaign is to support missions, ministry assignments, various projects aimed at serving those in need around the globe. Everywhere I've gone to preach last year, by the grace of God, as a tribe, we've been able to sow into those churches. And so we want to be able to do that and then some. More importantly, serve those communities that the churches are dwelling in. And so we know that a huge part of your church function should be missions and outreach. And so your support enables us to participate in these initiatives, and make a tangible difference in people's lives, from disaster relief to education to healthcare missions. You're contributing to this campaign. It's not just donating, we're also offering support and love and hope to individuals and communities that are facing these challenges. So whatever your passion is, I will tell you that these three represents the totality of our church. And so when you're sowing into this campaign in 2024, you are going sowing into one of these three captains and their teams. Now, our church is doing the same thing, which is kind of fun, where the church is beginning to I would say it's a competition, but it's a friendly one. We won't let it get carnal, but everybody's picking what part of the focus of the church are they joining. And the team that they join, they're not just supporting in seed, but they're supporting and spreading the word. So maybe you're like, well, don't say me, because I'm a team, I'm for all of it, right? But maybe in one moment your focus is missions. Well, if you join Team Reen, you'll have all of the missions promotional stuff that we have, the flyers and things, and the mission to share with others so that we can raise money for the mission side of our ministry. If you're one that's big on the church experience, then maybe it's Team More. And so, of course, you following Team More, you'll get information concerning the progress of our church, our renovations, and the things that we're doing. We have a 3,000 square foot facility that we acquired last year that will now become the multimedia studio for ministry for millennials. For those that have been following us, we've been proud to announce that we've launched our app on the Google Play and the Apple iOS App Store. And along with that, we've launched our TV apps on Roku, Apple TV, but also coming to Fire Stick and Google TV. And so all of the messages that we're doing, even this message, will be able to be pulled up on various devices. But we also have been blessed to be sent a director of media who does cinematography as a profession. And we are going to begin the process of creating some things that will help better illustrate and demonstrate the profound revelation of Christ to a generation that's media fun, media savvy. So these things that we're raising funding and renovation goes to ensuring that that multimedia studio is up to date and making sure that the church is up to date. And when the daycare comes, the daycare is up to date, and the rest is history. And then finally, maybe you want to be a part of mom Team Yoyo that deals with acquiring streams of income. We have individuals that are in our church that have profound vocations and gifts in those vocations, whether it's childcare, catering, multimedia, photography, videography, hair care. And we want to begin to build opportunities for them to go into full-time work for themselves, not just creating a vocation and a livelihood, but then being able to turn around and donate and sow into the church a portion of the proceeds that the church can continue to build more. And so Yolanda will be overseeing the business initiatives to give better education concerning this. So whatever your passion is, you can pick one of these three leaders to sow into when it comes to the 20K and 20 days. For those that are running a ministry, those that are pastors, those that have benefited from my grace, my gift, and even our tribe, I would ask and admonish you to consider, please, donating and sowing into Ministry for Millennials Incorporated. Seeds of 500, 1,000. I know we've sown seeds up to $2,000, $4,000 into ministries last year, and we're not asking for our money back. That's not what we're doing. But we are asking for you to operate in faith concerning our missions in 2024, so that if you see fit to donate, to sow, that you can see the strengthening of our tribe as we've watched our helping with the strengthening of yours. And so this is the overview of 20K in 20 days. Now, last year, I did the campaign and I was doing it while also celebrating our anniversary, which was February the 1st and my birthday. And so this year, I'm not going to take a vacation at the same time of the campaign. So none of y'all think that the money's going to a personal use, because it doesn't. So that being said, you're going to hear a lot from me in the next couple of weeks as we drive this campaign home. If you are led to even, be a part of it now, I want to show you some cool things that you can be involved with as we are raising this money in the next few days, 20 days. We're now down to 19 days technically. But if you would go into the app, you'll find that there's a Ministry for Millennials app store, in the app store, I should say, the Ministry for Millennials app. And this is the app, and you can see right there, 20K in 20 days. This is our campaign. In the bottom right corner, you look, there's 20K in 20 days. You click it, and you click it again. It will take you to the landing page, and all of this information I just shared and more is right here. Okay. But if you scroll all the way down at the bottom of this on our app, you'll see our ability to give. So y'all can see, y'all can give right here, whatever your amount is. And if you go to the drop at the bottom, it says Team Yoyo, Team Reen. So depending on what your focus is, you drop it in one of those buckets. And then it's a secure way to give. And then you can give that way. And then down here, you can actually be a part of the campaign and add yourself to our mailing list, so we can send you promotional information that you can share on your social media as well, from updates and information to how we're doing in this part of the campaign, to the promotional information that you can share it with others. So if you add your name to the 20K and 20 day team selection, you can simply do that. All we need is your first, last name, phone number, and email. And then in the drop box, you just pick Team More, Team Yoyo, Team Reen, and you hit submit. And then right here at the bottom, if you go to, these are all of our chats on our online app. If you go to team, you can actually join whatever team you decide to donate to and see the community that also is touching and agreeing with us. So if you want to be a part of Team Yoyo, you would click the Team Yoyo chat. You would set up an online profile. And once you do it, you can join the group and you'll be able to talk with others that have donated to the same cause. So all three of the groups have their own chat that you can be a part of. And these are just ways that you can still be engaged. I do believe that there's not one big I when it comes to how we give. I think it just takes the community, it takes the church. And so the point of all of it is to really raise not just the awareness of what Ministry for Millennials does, but to also share with everyone our passion and see that there's others in the vineyard that believe in what you believe in, whether it's outreach, whether it's businesses and entrepreneurship, whether it's church expansion, enlarging, and enhancement. Whatever your focus is, you'll be able to connect with like-minded individuals that are doing the same thing. And then after the first quarter is up, which is towards the end of March, we recalibrate based upon what we raised in these 3 months. And we then begin to go into execution By Q2, our expectation is that we're able to acquire the appropriate things needed to begin the businesses, to create six-figure streams of income, and to now enhance what we've raised into great operable and tangible executed outcomes. So if we raise 20,000, I'm declaring we'll do 5 times that when it comes to going out. We did 15,000 last year. We were able to send back out 38,000 in alms. So if we do 20,000 this year, we're declaring 5 times. This is the 5th year of ministry for us. So 5 times in Jesus' name. Come on, that's 100,000 that we want to be able to do outwardly. So to every person that is considering, I will give you some information on how you can sow now, because there are 1,000,009 different ways you can do it. So here are some ways that you can donate and be a part of this campaign with Ministry for Millennials. For those that like to sow via Cash App, it's $ministry, the number 4 millennials. If you want to do PayPal, it's at the number 4 church. If you are on Venmo, there is a verified Venmo account for Ministry for Millennials. You'll see the blue check next to the name, and that's at Ministry, the number 4 millennials. You can also give via Zelle. If you want to do Zelle, it's give at Ministry, the number 4 millennials.church. That's the email. It's give at Ministry, the number 4 millennials.church. I didn't add the .church on the visual. Sorry, guys. But that's our Zelle information. For those that want to give online, you can simply visit the number 4 millennials.church/give, and you can give. And again, the drop down menu will show you 3 that you can pick where seed goes to. If you're one of those people that's like, I want to give it to all, you can drop it under miscellaneous and just send a notation. Hey, this is going to all of the campaign, if you don't want to be divisive, even though it's not divisive, we promise. Anyway, for those that have the mobile app, you can download it on the App Store and Apple or on Google Play. Ministry, the number 4 millennials app, or you can look up M4M Church and you'll see our app in the App Store. Once you download it, you'll be able to set up a profile and you can give directly through the app. And you'll be able to keep up with all of our live broadcasting and all of our teachings and all of our different messages that we put out. So it's a cool way to stay connected. For those that want to mail a check, mail it to P.O. Box 9786, Newark, Delaware. And the zip is 19714. If you're one of those people that like to give right here on social media, you can actually search donation or search charities on Facebook, Instagram, and you'll be able to search Ministry, the number 4 millennials, and it will say it's based out of Newark, Delaware. And you can click that and you can donate directly through social media. Social media drops their donations every 45 to 90 days. So we'll get it in 3 months or so. So if that's the way you want to go, you could go that way as well. Anyone that's sowing through stars on Facebook or maybe on Club, you can put in the comments that you're sowing for the campaign, and we'll make sure that that money gets to its appropriate bucket. Your partnership in the gospel through this campaign, it's not a donation. Again, it's a commitment to share values and a testament of the power of our collective action. And so together we can achieve extraordinary things and pave a way for a brighter and more impactful future. I am thankful for each and every single one of you that has supported myself, my tribe, our ministry, for those that have been a part of any of the various services we've done, whether it be home or abroad. I just want to say thank you. I really want us to do great things in 2024, but it will start with the momentum and the firepower of our partners. To every global leader and ministry leader and pastor, I salute you and I say honor, and I give you I send my love, as I know you're in the vineyard doing your own thing. And if you are in the position to help, we would greatly appreciate it. We have until the 29th of February that we will be pushing 20K in 20 days. If you have any questions or anything that you want to reach out about in regards to this campaign, you can send us an email at give at ministry, the number 4 millennials.church. Give at ministry, the number 4 millennials.church, and our administration team or administration will be able to reach back out to you. Amen, amen, and Amen. Well, that pretty much covers the overview of 20K in 20 days. We are looking forward to doing some phenomenal things around the world and around the country. And we just want to say again from the bottom of our heart, thank you to every single one of you that has been a part of this process of building this church. And as we celebrate year 5, we declare a year of not just grace for ourselves, but grace to those that have been giving. And so as we get ready to leave, take a moment, if you haven't already, and please go ahead and share this video with others. Tag your people in it. If you're pastors, tag your church in it so that we can spread the word as Ministry for Millennials begins the process of raising 20K in 20 days. Listen, I love you all. I honor you all. I'll leave this up long enough for you to share. But until we meet again, grace, mercy, and shalom.